What a morning it's been. It's the WMAY morning news feed. I'm Greg Bishop, 821, and I want to hear from you now at 217-629-7970. Again, 217-629-7970. What do you think is going to happen in the case against Jussie Smollett? 217-629-7970. The case apparently is going to be in the hands of the jury later on today after some closing arguments. Closing arguments from the prosecutors, I expect, are going to be he made up a hate crime against himself. And here's all the evidence. Here's the testimony. Here's the text messages. Here's the surveillance video. While the defense likely is going to say that he was the victim of a hate crime and that the Osendero brothers are liars. What do you think? This thing happened back in 2019, and it's something that, at first led a lot of news outlets to report that the hate crime against Jussie Smollett is just one of many that happen across the country, and they use that to, in a way, try to amplify the news stories about race and about alleged hate crimes. But then, as police were investigating, they discovered that, not a lot adding up to this story. And I want to hear from you. Do you think that the jury is going to find Smollett guilty on these charges he's facing of making up a hate crime against himself? 217-629-7970 is the phone number. Again, 217-629-7970. And this case happening up in Chicago. He was an actor on a show called Empire. I never watched it. He said that the studio didn't take seriously a threatening letter that was sent about Smollett. And then the allegations, at least that the Osendero brothers raised, was that he wanted to get more attention. And this quote-unquote hate crime was something that he said was going to propel his image and try to get more prominence. It's kind of fascinating to see how this has been reported, and I can't wait for somebody to get the transcript of the case and to actually do a reenactment of some of what's been talked about in the courtroom, because some of it's been pretty scandalous, including the stuff about bathhouses and herbal steroids and the text messages and racial epithets and so on. It's been pretty wild. Good morning. You're on WMAY. What do you think the jury's going to do in this case?
Well, Greg, if they are paying attention and are coming to the correct decision, I would say he'd be found guilty.
How quick do you think that's going to happen?
Well, I'm surprised they haven't. I just stood up and says, "We've seen enough. This guy's guilty."
Has that ever happened anywhere? And they just
should.
Like halfway through, Smollett not even taking the step, they stand up and like,
well,
okay.
you know what, Greg? Actually, it has happened in our media when they judge people that are on the right. They don't even let them go to trial before they convict them. And exactly, senor.
I appreciate the call. So he thinks it's going to be a pretty rapid guilty plea or guilty verdict against Jussie Smollett. What do you think? Good morning. You're on WMAY.
Good morning, Greg.
Hey,
but I think they're going to come back with a very quick and very fast guilty, but it's all a misdemeanor charge, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know what kind of punishment he would ultimately get. I haven't delved into the 16 different charges that were against him, but
from what I gathered in the paper when I was reading it the other day, basically he's probably going to get a big fine in probation and community services. Right. All he's going to get. Right. I think they're going to find him guilty very quickly, and me personally, I think he comes off as a racist, so I don't like the guy anyway. But
his story just did not add up, saying that at 2:00 in the morning on the coldest day, there were white, red hat wearing racists running around downtown Chicago looking for Jussie Smollett. I mean, first of all, downtown Chicago at 19 degrees below zero is not a very welcoming place. And I don't think many Donald Trump supporters even knew who Jussie Smollett was. So all the stuff just didn't add up. But yeah, I think you might be right to the degree. Somebody look that up for me. Is it a misdemeanor? If so, yeah, he's just going to get like a slap on the wrist. Is that enough?
Yeah, that's it. But I think that, I think he's pretty much done as an actor. He never was a very good one anyway. I understand. But it's just stupid is what it is. Why would you pull something so stupid to try and promote your image? All you're promoting now is that you're an idiot.
It's pretty incredible. I appreciate the call, Tim. 217-629-7970 is the phone number. What do you think? Is the jury... I guess the question I should ask is how quick do you think the jury is going to return a guilty verdict? 217-629-7970. Of course, in this country, it's innocent until proven guilty. He's had his due process. He's had the charges brought up against him. He's heard the charges in a court with a jury of his peers hearing all of this as well. And he's going to obviously face whatever decision they make. Now, with this case in particular, there's a lot of he said, she said, but there's also a lot of evidence. There's a lot of video evidence from surveillance cameras. There's a lot of text messages that were read in court, some of them controversial. But there was also some aspersions made against the Osendero brothers on a variety of fronts that they were in a romantic relationship. One of them was with Jussie, that they helped procure herbal steroids that are illegal for Jussie, and that they were really close. It'll be interesting to see what ultimately the jury does and how quick they do it. Good morning. What are your thoughts? You think this is going to be
Well, just to get everything clear, he is looking at 6 felonies, so they're not misdemeanors.
Gotcha.
Yes, he's guilty as hell. And I hope he does at least get a good 30-day sentence, but a good year would be good. I mean, all the time and effort and money wasted on this debacle, it's just nuts.
They spent 3,000 plus policeman hours investigating this.
Exactly.
And they had
how many shootings are we up to now in Chicago this year?
Gosh, there's 1,000 plus homicides in Chicago.
Thank you. That could have very well been spent on that kind of matter instead of this hogwash.
Oh, it's incredible. I appreciate the call. Yeah. So, I saw one indication. I think the initial counts were like 16, but then now there's 6 or so. Yeah, I gotta do my due diligence with everything else that I'm just slammed with every day. I am going to have to go through all the different charges that there are against Jussie Smollett. Your thoughts, 217-629-7970. Prosecutors and defense attorneys, they're going to have closing arguments today. That means it's going to get into the hands of the jury, and they'll be instructed by the judge. How quick do you think that the jury is going to come back with a decision? Good morning. You're on WMAY.
I think it'll be very quickly, Bishop, but if you take the MAGA and all the race and everything else out of it, you're in one of the greatest food cities in the country. The subway should have been just that alone. Come on, man.
Have you seen the Chappelle clip of him talking about this?
Yeah.
When he's like, Chappelle's acting like the police, and he's got the microphone and he's using it as a pen. Okay, sir. So you say you were going downtown. It's 19 degrees out, and you were going to the subway. Sandwiches? Yeah.
It's great. Have a good morning.
I appreciate it. Thank you. All right, it is the WMAY morning news feed. So we'll see what happens. Today, he could be found guilty, or the jury could retire for the evening and come back tomorrow and deliberate more. Either way, it is fully anticipated that the jury is going to get the case against Jussie Smollett after closing arguments are made today in that case up in Chicago. All right, it is 8:30 now. Thank you so much for